guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire, and if you have been watching any of my videos this year in particular, I feel like every single one I have mentioned one of these writing-oriented Facebook pages that I have kind of stumbled upon and been fascinated with, and I thought it would be a potentially useful video if I talked about some of the main topics and questions and just kind of give my 2 cents on these things that often get posted over and over and over again. Hopefully, if you are a new writer, which is what a lot of these groups seem to be catering to, maybe a video like this will be a little bit more helpful. And I don't want to come across as cruelly making fun of people who are asking questions on this forum. I've known that I wanted to pursue writing professionally since I was a child and have taken classes, courses, chose content that has helped me pursue said goal. But a lot of these people, I think, that are in a group like this have decided to maybe pursue it as an adult and don't know where to begin and don't know what they don't know. So that's completely fair. So this is just my 2 cents, obviously. Please comment your own down below, and here we go. I have to start with this one. This one's a little funny. Can I call my book Gone with the Wind, or is there some rule prohibiting this? A, I would imagine there's a copyright issue, and B, generally pretty ill-advised to name your book after one of the most famous books of all time. Now, you might be able to get away with something that's in the public domain, like a fairy tale. So these next few questions, there's a lot of, I would say like 60% of these forums are filled with these types of questions. My first book has finally been published. Does anyone have any advice on how to market or promote it? Or I've self-published 7 books on Amazon, but have no idea how to market or promote them, so they are not selling. Any advice? So it's basically people who have decided to go ahead and publish, self-publish, maybe even vanity publish, and then ask, how do I market this? How do I actually make money? A part of me wonders if maybe people think that self-publishing is similar to social media. The algorithm kind of takes care of that for you. Random people on Instagram or TikTok will just blow up in these huge numbers because the algorithm takes a hold of it and promotes it. I've never self-published, so take this with a grain of salt. I would suggest, and I think most people who have self-published would also suggest, like any other product, you should strategize how to market it before you launch said product. And that's kind of the daunting thing with something like self-publishing, is the creative side of it, the actual creation of the book, of the story, of the formatting is all on you, as well as the business marketing side. There's no shortcut to that. You have to do research. So reading, podcasts, videos, maybe even courses. If self-publishing a book and marketing and having it be successful and making a decent living doing it was easy, then everyone would do it. But the vast majority of people, even those who do actually self-publish, don't make a dime, because marketing is not easy. So you are going to have to do research. It is going to have to be like a second job, and you should do said research before publishing. You should have a plan before publishing. The guy that said that he wrote 7 books, honestly, that's awesome, especially for self-publishing, but how much more effective would that be if he had a marketing plan and strategize when to publish said books and like a timeline to do so, building hype after each one published. And again, I've never done this, but there are a lot of videos, a lot of free videos on YouTube, a lot of podcasts, and I imagine also professionals that you can talk to or hire if you need to. And there's no shame in that. This is a skill, especially in the digital era. This is not something that you're just gonna like magically know how to do. A huge portion of these groups are taken up by how do I promote my book. The other portion is mostly taken up by people posting their first page of their first draft and saying, is this any good? And the answer is no. It's not. That's okay. It doesn't need to be, and it will never be. Your first draft is not meant to be good. And in fact, if you're just starting to write, don't even worry about creating a final product that's good. Just work on writing. Try to complete a 1-page story, and then complete a 10-page story, and then complete a short story, then several short stories, or like fan fiction or something, but something where you have to complete it. This will get you into the habit of actually writing and then of completing something, because that's half the struggle with a lot of people that want to pursue writing, especially fiction writing professionally, is a lot of people might even have good ideas and a decent skill set, but they can't complete anything. So get in the habit of writing, and then get in the habit of completing things. And then as you're writing more, you're building the muscle and the instinct to see where things are going wrong, because your writing is going to go wrong, and you need to figure out, and you really only do it by doing more of it, where is it going wrong? Is it the prose? Is it the story? Is it the characters? Is it the dialogue? And then once you build that instinct, then you'll know what resources to seek out to help build that skill set. What are your weak points, and what do you need to work on? And what resources do you need to go to and seek out to help do this? Writing fiction is really hard. There's a lot of things you're trying to juggle between story beats and character arcs, world building, let alone the actual prose, the actual grammar, how to actually format a novel. But if you can build the muscle to catch your own writing and see where you are kind of weak, that's gonna do wonders for you if you move into this world professionally. I thought this was just an interesting kind of discussion point. Just wanted to ask, as a writer, what do you consider to be the best type of opening sentence or paragraph in the story? I saw a lot of very interesting answers that I personally would not agree to. A lot of people said dialogue. My general instinct is not to start your book with dialogue, because we as readers don't know who's speaking. We can't even imagine a voice or a person or a tone. Is it sarcastic? Is it super serious? It might be a killer piece of dialogue too, but it might be more effective to move that later on, even just in the page or in the chapter. And I also think it's probably not wise to put too much pressure on yourself when it comes to your first line. The first few pages to the first chapter are really important, and are something that you should think a lot about, because you're trying to pull someone in from nothing to a whole book. So it is important, but I think what's more important with, that first paragraph and first chapter is setting up the tone of the book. I think is more important than having like a particularly quippy first line. All right, and then there's a lot of general, and this is where I can tell these are adults that are coming into writing, maybe for the first time. How do you approach the editing and revision process? It's gonna depend. I think the most important thing as a writer is that you learn to edit your own work to the best of your abilities. Not that you won't work with outside editors or outside opinions, but learning to almost distance yourself from your work a little bit and look at it with more objective eyes, like pulling back on a story level and on a more minute prose level. That's just one of the best things. So I think even prioritizing editing and revising at all is just really important. New writers sometimes struggle with that concept and maybe think that professional writers are just doing one draft and then sending it off to get printed, and that is never the case. All professional writers, frankly, understand that first drafts are usually messy, sloppy, not good, and that's okay, and they learn to be okay with that. That it's the editing, it's the refining of their ideas, the refining of their voice, the refining of their prose, and that takes time, and that your story and that your piece of work is going to go through a lot of revisions, and what it looks like in round 1 is going to look different in round 10, is going to look different in round 20. All right, guys, let me know if you enjoyed this sort of video and if this is something you'd like to see more of in the future. I mean, there's always questions and comments being posted in places like this, and that's always something I feel like I can have an opinion about. If you have your own thoughts or opinions or answers on questions on anything that I spoke about, leave it down in the comments below. Oh, I made a community post about it. Speaking of writing, going to be using the platform Buy Me a Coffee to post my own writing content in. So it's a donation based. You don't need to donate to read anything that I post there. It's going to be free for all, but if you want to make a one-time donation, that gives you the possibility of doing so, which obviously as a freelance artist and creator, I would deeply appreciate. But I'm going to start posting old fan fiction, short stories, poetry, just kind of a place to actually put my own writing for you guys to read. I rarely get to actually share this kind of stuff with you, so I just thought that that would be a good way to do it. So anyway, that link will be in the description box, or it's in the community tab. Thank you so much for joining me and hanging out with me, and I will see you guys later. Bye.